Welcome to Vantage with AI. Well, it seems like these days I'm only working with LTX 2.3. Lots of LoRas are coming out, and honestly, LTX is really filling the void left after WAN went closed source. So today, I'm back again, showcasing one more powerful LoRa, along with an advanced ComfyUI workflow that lets you generate text to video, image to video, and even first, middle, last frame videos, all with built-in cinematic transitions. With this Transitions LoRa, you can now create seamless in-scene transformations. It can handle character changes, style morphing, object transformations, full scene switches, and even complex cinematic motion prompts, all in a single workflow. This LoRa is especially powerful for a few key use cases. First the last frame generation, where you can smoothly bridge two completely different frames while still preserving motion logic and visual continuity. No more jarring cuts, everything flows naturally. Second, text to video. It significantly improves how the model understands transformation prompts, narrative progression, and evolving scenes over time. Third, image to video. You get much stronger motion intent, along with expressive transformations that feel intentional instead of random. And finally, creative transition design. This is where it really shines. Whether you're doing cinematic cuts, identity morphs, object swaps, or surreal scene transitions, this LoRa gives you a lot more control and visual coherence. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly how to set this up and use it inside a ComfyUI workflow. And if you're new to LTX 2.3, I highly recommend checking out my previous video where I cover the fundamentals. Let's take a quick look at everything you'll need before we begin. To start with, you'll need the LTX 2.3 base model. You can go with either the dev version or the distilled version. LTX 2.3 is available in BF16, FP8, and GGUF formats, so you've got flexibility in choosing what works best for you. If you decide to use the dev model, don't forget to grab the LTX 2.3 22B distilled LoRa as well. This plays a key role. It lets the dev model run smoothly at CFG1 with as few as 8 steps, giving you much faster results while maintaining solid quality. Now, coming to the core component, the Transitions LoRa. This is what actually powers all the transition effects and transformation capabilities inside this workflow. Along with that, this setup uses two text encoders, the Gemma 312B encoder and the native LTX 2.3 encoder, combining their strengths to improve prompt understanding and overall output consistency. Moving on, you'll also need the LTX 2.3 VAE for handling video latence, along with the LTX 2.3 audio VAE for generating synchronized audio. For higher resolution outputs, we're using the LTX 2.3 spatial upscaler, which enables multi-stage upscaling and helps retain better detail in the final video. And lastly, there's the Mel Band Rowformer model. This is used to isolate clean vocals from your reference audio, which can be very useful for lip sync workflows. You'll find all the required download links already included within the workflow itself, and I've also added them in the video description for convenience. And while you're checking that out, if this video helps you, consider liking it and subscribing to the channel. It really helps me keep bringing more content like this. Now let's take a look at how everything is wired together inside ComfyUI. We begin with the Models section. This is where all the core components are loaded, including the base model, LoRa's, VAEs, and both text encoders. Next, moving on to the Control section. This is where you can manage different toggles that directly influence how your output is generated. At the top, you'll find the Model Selector toggle, which lets you switch between safe tensors and GGUF formats depending on what you're using. Right below that, you can choose your generation mode, whether you want text to video or image to video. Just enable the I2V toggle if you're working with an input image. You also have the option to use only a starting frame or include middle and last frames. Then comes the Enable Transitions toggle. This is a key one. Since the workflow can run even without the Transitions LoRa, this toggle lets you decide whether you want to activate those transition effects or not. After that, we have the second sampling pass option. Instead of generating directly at full resolution, the workflow first renders at half resolution and then upsamples in a second stage. This approach gives you much faster results while still maintaining good quality. If you're using the dev model, make sure to turn on the dev toggle. This enables the distilled LoRa. And if you want to push speed even further, you can also enable the Distilled LoRA for stage 1 toggle, allowing the first pass to run at just 8 steps with CFG1. If you plan to use your own audio for lip sync or additional effects, you can enable the custom audio toggle. You'll also see options for VAE decoding type. If you have enough VRAM, you can go with the normal VAE. Otherwise, for lower VRAM setups, you can switch to tiled VAE or spatiotemporal tiled VAE. Next is the prompt section. This is where things really matter. For the Transitions LoRA to perform well, your prompts need to be structured properly. Ideally, they should include a clear shot description, like close-up, wide shot, low angle, or tracking shot, a well-defined subject and environment, the motion or transformation process, what exactly is changing over time, visual details, lighting, textures, colors, and materials, and finally, an ending trigger. Adding Zhuansheng helps activate the LoRa more strongly when needed. Now let's move to the Generate Latent section. This is where you upload your reference images if you're using image to video mode. It also prepares the input audio and video latents for sampling. After that, we have the reference audio section where you can load your own audio file if the custom audio option is enabled. And finally, we reach the sampler section. This is where the actual generation happens. This workflow uses a two-stage sampling process. In the first stage, the video is generated at half resolution, focusing on motion, structure, and overall consistency. Then in the second stage, if enabled, the workflow performs a 2x latent upscale, producing the final high-resolution output. Now, let's test it out. For our first test, we'll be using a first, middle, last frame setup. So, here are the images we'll be working with. The first frame is a dusty old car driving down a highway. The second frame shows the same car, but now from the rear, still on the same road. And finally, the last frame is a sleek red sports car, also viewed from the back, continuing along that highway. Now, let's define the motion and transition using our prompt. In the beginning, the car is seen approaching the camera, giving us that forward motion and establishing the scene. Then, the camera quickly pans around, shifting perspective to the rear view of the car, which aligns with our middle frame. And this is exactly where we introduce the transition. As the camera settles behind the car, strands of light begin to emerge, wrapping around the vehicle and building up energy. These glowing streaks act as the transformation effect, gradually morphing the dusty old car into a sleek red sports car. By the end of the sequence, the transformation completes, and we see the new car speeding away smoothly into the distance, matching our final frame. Let's run it. All right, the result is ready. Let's take a look. Overall, it turned out really well. The model followed the prompt quite closely, and the transition effect came out clean and visually convincing. For our next test, we'll work with just a single starting image. We'll be using this scene, a low-angle cinematic shot of a rain-soaked cobblestone street set in an old abandoned European town at night. This prompt starts with a cinematic low-angle tracking shot moving through a rain-soaked abandoned European street at night, focusing on reflections, atmosphere, and subtle motion. Then, the camera tilts upward and accelerates, rising past rooftops and fog, smoothly transitioning from a dark, moody urban setting into a bright, surreal sky. Finally, it breaks through the clouds to reveal a floating island landscape bathed in warm sunrise light, shifting the entire scene from grounded realism to a dreamlike cinematic fantasy. Let's run it. All right, the result is in. Let's check it out. Honestly, it turned out really smooth and quite cinematic. The motion feels natural, the transitions flow nicely, but I'll let you be the judge. For this final test, we're going fully text to video with a cinematic fantasy transformation. The scene begins in a magical forest where a young girl in a worn, tattered white gown walks through soft, glowing light and drifting particles. She discovers two glowing red fruits, runs toward them, and picks one. As she takes a bite, the camera moves in for a close-up, and this moment triggers the transformation. Magical energy begins to swirl around her, and as the camera pulls back, her simple gown gradually evolves into detailed elven warrior armor, complete with a bow and arrows forming on her back. The transition is designed to feel smooth and organic, guided by flowing light, ending with her standing as a confident elven warrior in the enchanted forest, maintaining consistent identity and cinematic realism throughout. Let's run it. Alright, the result is ready. Let's take a look. And honestly, it turned out really good. The whole sequence feels quite magical and visually engaging. So yeah, that's the Transitions LoRA with LTX 2.3. And as you can see, it opens up a lot of creative possibilities when it comes to cinematic storytelling and smooth transformations. From simple scene transitions to complex character and style changes, this workflow gives you a really solid level of control while still keeping things efficient. If you found this useful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow and lets me keep bringing more workflows like this. Also, let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next. More LoRa's, more advanced workflows, or maybe something completely different. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.